Hey Ringside crew, welcome to the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. And now here's your host, Joe Panther III.
Hello there, internet, and hello there, wrestling fans. Welcome to another episode of the internationally known Dudes at Ringside podcast. I am Joe Panther III, and today I have a gentleman that started his career out in the MMA, and now he's joining all of us in the professional wrestling world. Introduce yourself to my internationally known audience.
My name's Chase DEGENHARDT. I'm former world MMA and Muay Thai champion. So I fought both Muay Thai and MMA for many years, and then retired from that, and recently found myself a professional wrestler. So yeah.
So when it comes to like professional wrestling, I know MMA and wrestling have like two separate sides. Like who's trained you so far in the professional wrestling? Like, you know, I know two sides. Did you have a trainer with the professional wrestling side?
What happened? It's like I guess a bit of a long story, but when I started wanting to get into professional wrestling, I messaged an organization called Thrash Wrestling, which is the organization that I wrestle for primarily now, and they're based out here in interior BC where I live, just sort of like luckily enough, they were kind of having a seminar within a couple of weeks, and I decided to go to it, and that's where I met my coach Justin Sider, who he's kind of the coach up here in the interior BC. There's a few, but he's my primary coach, and then because professional wrestling, there's not, at least not here in interior BC, there's not really so much of like a formal school. I've also gone and actually traveled to different professional wrestling schools. So I've trained with Can-Am Wrestling in Calgary, Top Talent Wrestling in Edmonton, and then I actually went down to Philadelphia and trained at the Catch Point with Drew Gulak down there in Philadelphia. So that's kind of where I've trained so far, at least on the wrestling side.
Yes. So how is it training under Gulak? Like, he knows you're MMA fighter. Did he train you differently because he knows that you know how to really like break down the mat, like with the kicking and the punching, stuff like that? He was a lot of fun. Definitely a bit of a different kind of mentality than some of the other places I trained, in terms of like I guess just in general, a lot of the other schools I went through wanted me to learn to wrestle, which I think I was good and I needed to do. Whereas Drew, it was basically like, you have this like, incredible Muay Thai and MMA background, don't go out there and lock up with people, go out there and clinch people and, like knee the shit out of their ribs kind of thing. Right. So, a bit of a different mentality there, but it was really fun to learn from him for sure. Awesome. So now that you're in the wrestling side of it, have you like changed your approach to like a match? Because MMA fighting is like rounds, and wrestling matches just ding the bell. You're just going into it.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, it's definitely
different. Yeah, I feel like it's kind of hard to explain. Um, I think, in terms of my approach, yeah, I think maybe at first, probably, I was maybe a little bit more hesitant, just not as confident, in a new world as I would have been in an MMA ring or a Muay Thai match. As I've had more training and more matches, that confidence has started to come, and I think the approach will be probably pretty similar. So, as an MMA fighter, I tended to kind of just run straight through people and kind of just overpower them. And yeah, I think, as I've gotten more confident in professional wrestling, you're going to see more and more of that.
Hmm. Like, is there any wrestlers that you've been with, like seeing, like so far since you've been in the independent scene, that you've been wanting to work with that's a different style than you that you want to work with?
Yeah, that's another good question. I think there's like lots of guys, I guess locally, that I feel confident that I can, have some good matches with. I guess if you want some names here while I'm at it, I think in thrash wrestling, Danny Deeds is a guy who I had a little run in with at a recent Rumble there, and I think we would have a kind of a banger match. There's another guy running around thrash wrestling, kicking some ass, named Cope, who's a friend of mine. I think we'd have a great match as well. I think the current thrash wrestling champion, Sean Gaston, owes me another match after the brutal cheating that he engaged in our previous match. So, those might be the three guys that I'm most interested in facing in the very near future.
Awesome. So, like, when it comes to like your training and stuff like that, do you like have to like? Do you guys have? Do you have to like do like? Awesome. So, like, when it comes to like your, sorry about the glitch. You guys have? Do you have to like do like? Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. There's a delay. When it comes to your training, do you have to like the food wise? Do you have to like eat like separately now? Like, I know MMA fighters, they eat like the chicken and the rice. And do you take the food differently now? Do you like try not to eat the McDonald's and the fried foods, even though you're not supposed to already because you're doing that training?
Well, I'm definitely like a bit of a health food, not nerd. I don't. I'm not the classic wrestler that likes to go for McDonald's after the match. I do prefer to keep it, a little bit healthier. That being said, like as as a wrestler, I do love the fact that these guys don't cut weight. That is the worst part of fighting, is the dieting and the cutting weight. It's not fun at all. So, being able to just roll into a match, I weigh 225 pounds. That's what I weigh. Doesn't matter if my opponent is, 170 pounds or 270 pounds. I weigh what I weigh, and I don't have to, sit there and diet to just be able to enter into the ring. And that's really nice.
Yeah, it's crazy because like when you guys do this like the week of a show, like for you now that you're a wrestler, do you schedule things differently now with the training? Or is it like, or you just say, okay, this week I'm gonna punch the bag, this week I'm gonna do my long run, this week I'm gonna do like now, because you literally is now you can go on a top rope. Have you thought of like doing like high flying moves with the kicks and stuff like that?
There's a few things that we've been kind of workshopping, in the back, and I'm sure we'll, unveil some of that stuff soon out there. Yeah, I mean, I'm a very athletic guy, so yeah, I mean, I kind of think why wouldn't you take advantage of some of that stuff? Uh, yeah, as far as the training goes, um, there are so many things, when I was fighting MMA that we did that were so dumb, for lack of a better word. Uh, and now I've gotten really into the kind of the science of training and really kind of focus my training around preserving my athleticism for as long as possible. And so, yeah, I guess in terms of my weight training and even kind of what I do as a wrestler and martial artist, I kind of focus it that way. Um, and then yeah, week of the match with no weight cutting, there's a lot less need for rest as well. You're fighting MMA, you're going to have to cut weight. You're not training hard that week of the match at all. You might train like a little bit on like the Monday or Tuesday, just light sessions. Yeah, whereas as a wrestler, without that weight cutting, you're going to have energy for the match and you can still train, maybe not the day before, but, like you can rest the day before and train right up to it basically. So, that's kind of nice too, to be able to just kind of, yeah, keep training and keep improving, right up to your match.
Yeah, that's like the most important part. Like you're just doing this now. You're like you like have you had your first regular wrestling match yet, or has it not happened yet?
Yeah, no, I've had quite a few matches now. I think on my my tally, I'm up to 18 now. So yeah, and it's been good. You learn, I think, every single time. And yeah, I would say, like, looking back, I have video of the first match, and of course looking back to that, to where I am now, and it's like, as proud as I was at that moment, now I'm like, man, I don't really want anyone to watch that match because I stunk. But so there was a lot of progress made, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Like what do you like when the show is done? Do you actually like? Said this question to a lot of wrestlers. Do you Most wrestlers go out and they eat? Like you say, you really don't try to do the junk food after the show. But is it hard? Because I know not many things are open, and I know after a show your stomach's growling because a lot of people don't eat before a show. Like, do you ever get that urge to go to McDonald's or go to like Dairy Queen and go get yourself a big milkshake at the end of a show?
um No, and it's kind of funny because you mentioned that, and as a fighter, when I had to diet before the matches, that was always something that I would do, right? Like first thing after the fight, I am going to go to like McDonald's or Wendy's and get like the most disgusting giant burger I can, and then probably the next morning I'm gonna go to the mall and get like a Cinnabon, with like a, liter of icing on top of it, right? And I used to do
Yeah.
that. Um, Now, I will do. I have done like pub food. I'm not too much of a snob about it. But yeah, if I feel like fast food is the only option, I usually actually will tend to bring some food, whether it's yeah, something I made, or might even stop by a sandwich shop like before the show, and yeah, just to make sure that I've got something for afterwards.
You say get a sandwich. Like, what would you be your ideal sandwich? Like, would it be like a healthy thing or just a turkey sandwich with Swiss? Or would you go crazy and get an Italian combo or like a buffalo chicken sandwich?
um yeah, I mean, I definitely like, yeah, like a little bit of yeah, beef or chicken. Yeah, I don't mind, yeah, like, yeah, barbecue, whatever, cheese. I mean, um I'm not going too crazy healthy, like, but yeah, just not doing kind of the greasy burgers. Um but yeah, I mean, I guess if you're asking my ideal sandwich, I will give you a very good answer, and this might be divisive, but I actually like to make myself my own like Italian style McGriddles. I guess I'll call it. So I'll use like pancakes as the buns, and and then it's like a breakfast sandwich. So I'll have like bacon or sausage with egg and cheese. But then I will do yeah, like essentially kind of like Italian spice, and usually like, yeah, tomato, a little bit of onion, maybe even something like pepperoncini. So it's yeah, probably not for everyone, but I like kind of that combination of like a little bit of sweetness with kind of the savory, and then yeah, you get that like tanginess of the onion and the pepperoncini. It's delicious, in my opinion.
Sounds great to me. I don't know. I'll eat it. My mom and dad will be like, and my chef that my job I work in, he'll be like, "I'll eat anything." Truly. Literally in my job, if you're watching this, Chris, I'm so sorry. He calls me a great white. He's like, "Joe will eat anything. You leave like it's ultimately I'll eat anything, but if it does not taste, if it doesn't have seasoning at my Latino side, it goes seasoning makes everything beautiful." Like,
yes, it's yeah, I do have some friends that just do like the unseasoned like chicken and vegetables and stuff, and I'm like, I'm impressed.
yeah.
Very Spartan.
So, did you have to make, like, now that you're a wrestler, did you get any like ideas of like gear and tights, or do you use your traditional like MMA shorts like you would wear when you used to like be in MMA now in your wrestling?
Yeah, I've been wearing mostly tie shorts, and then yeah, I do wear some knee pads and like wrestling shoes, which I obviously never did when I was fighting. But yeah, I kind of like the tie shorts, and like to sort of be homage to where I came from. Whether I switch away from that at some point, I don't know, but uh, I just ordered some new ones that are yeah, all like bright gold. So I think that's kind of what we're sticking with for the foreseeable future, at least.
That's cool. So when you do like your workout, what is on your ideal like playlist? Is it like heavy metal? Is it like um do you have like a mixed genre? Like what kind of music are we listening to when we're working out?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely a metalhead. Yeah, I feel like my tastes are pretty esoteric. So yeah, I would say a lot of kind of weird metal, I guess, progressive metal. Uh, yeah, I really like, I don't know, bands like Hanging Garden, um, and yeah, like Keller Mensch, a couple Scandinavian bands there, uh, and yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's I think for workouts, it's just sort of obviously better if it's a little bit faster paced, as much as it's yeah. Sometimes I do like slow metal. Sometimes I like a ballad for sure, but for the workouts, we've got to be going a little bit harder.
Yeah. Definitely, because when you're doing certain workouts, like when my sister does like her bench press, like I could automatically hear her like playing like Pantera, like something like Walk, or like one of their other old like slam tracks, like like when we're going to the gym, we're listening to like like I would listen to wrestling music, like I like anywhere, like if you had to pick one genre of like wrestling music or like rock music, what genre would you choose, and what artist would you choose to use all their songs that they have, all their hits?
Uh, hmm. Like, good question. I'm currently using something called Devils and Angels by a band called Psychotic Waltz. Um, I mean, I really like, I guess like something with, that's a little bit heavy and a little bit, kind of epic. I think for professional wrestling, like, you don't want music that is like understated. I mean, maybe if that's who you are out there, but you want something that announces its presence a little bit. I like the band Therion, which is kind of an epic metal band. I think they have a lot of stuff that might fit into that, where it's kind of heavy, but then it's got some element of that sort of like epicness to it. So that might be, if I had to choose just one artist to pick entrance music from, that might be the one.
Awesome. If like, what, like, since you came from the MMA field, like, I know there's like one or two moves you do when you finish the guy off. So like when it comes to like the finishing move, do you focus on as a submission move, or do you make it like a pin submission? Like, what is like your favorite? If a lot of my fans are from like East Coast or the United States, like what do you count yourself as a finisher? Do you go your gut with the MMA finishers, or do you go ball to the wall and you don't care? You just try to get him out, like knock him out.
Yeah, I mean, I've done both. I maybe feel like sometimes it's a little bit, it can be more likely that people will give me an opportunity in the ring to submit them than to knock them out. Maybe that's just guys around here being kind of aware of what I'm about and knowing that they don't want to get hit with that stuff. So far it's been more submission-y, but I think an armbar has been my most common finish so far. But yeah, I think like going forward, they won't be able to hide from the knees and the kicks forever. And yeah, we'll see. We'll see some guys crumpled on the mat for sure. So,
have you thought of coming to the East Coast or like United States area to wrestle?
Yeah, well, again, it just kind of was the way it worked out this year. I went to Philadelphia. That was back in March, and I would have loved to wrestle down there, but it kind of just, that was the only couple weeks that I could come, and there were no shows on, so I got some great training, but didn't get to actually wrestle.
Isn't that weird? Like sometimes you go to places you think there's gonna be a show and there's like nothing.
Yeah, well, especially out on the East Coast where you guys are, because there are so many. There's just such a big population, right? It's like there's got to be something going on within like a couple hours, right? But yeah, I guess I kind of got unlucky. But yeah, absolutely, I'd like to pop out there, and I mean, there's very few places I wouldn't want to wrestle. So yeah, if there's an opportunity, I definitely would look into it. Sure.
Awesome. Before we go, if you have any merch, and my fans would like to pick anything up of yours, how can they find it?
Well, yeah, we're still kind of in the early stages over here. We've got some shirts and we've got some books. I'm an author as well as a martial artist and wrestler. I guess
if you have your book on hand, you could show it on the camera so my fans can see it.
Can actually do that. Okay, we're getting extra weird here, but this is a cyberpunk novel. So I wrote it under the pen name Frank Hart. So you can pick that up on. It's called The Bachelorette Murder Island. You can pick that up on Amazon if you want. It exists both as a physical book and as a ebook if you're into science fiction. And then we have these t-shirts which I'm wearing, and those you would have to DM me at the moment. I'm hoping to get a web store up sometime soon, but for now, I would be the channel.
Awesome. I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast. It's so awesome. I want to wish you nothing but the best of luck on your professional wrestling journey. Many more championships that are right behind you. Dudes at Ringside always wishes to sends the magic to the wrestlers. So But when next time we see each other, your belt's gonna be covering up the whole wall behind you, man. I swear. You're gonna be
That's right.
grand
That's
champion
right.
in both sides, you know? Thank you so much. Definitely fans, go give this guy a follow, check him out. Go get his book, give him some love, we show some love here. We give some love here. I'm Joe Panther the Third.
Awesome. Yeah, and I'm Chase DEGENHARDT. Thanks so much for having me. Yeah, had an awesome time, and yeah, hope to see you all at some shows.
And we will catch you in the next one.